Instructional Design, Ethical and Biblical Worldview by Tracy Kreitz. Worldview. What is a worldview? A particular philosophy of life or conception of the world. The current worldview is that we are all in this together. No one God is better than any other God. We need to accept and understand other religions, even if it means that we cannot worship ours to the fullest. We have to be sure that our praying doesn't offend somebody else. Our celebrations do not offend other people, and we really need to tone it down because we don't want to make anybody in this world uncomfortable or feel like we are better than them or our religion is better than them or that we do not accept them for who they are. You are not as important as the whole group. That's another part of the worldview. You should never choose yourself. You should always choose others. You should be willing to sacrifice everything to make others' lives better. If I have a pair of shoes, but somebody needs them, I should be willing to give them to them. I am not better than them, and they deserve them just as much as I do. You should be willing to give everything to everyone. And you are not important. That's what I feel like they're trying to tell us that the worldview is. That is not my worldview. And my worldview is that my God is the most important, only God that we should be worshiping. I believe that He is a forgiving God and a loving God, and that He died on the cross for me, and that all my sins were forgiven when He did that. And I think that others would be forgiven too if they accept Jesus Christ as their Savior also. But that's my worldview. And the worldview of the world is the New World Order, where we are all one global community living in one harmonious world where all we need to do is talk and hold hands and all will be forgiven and forgotten. But that means that we cannot be who we are individually. We must sacrifice our individualism to become the worldview. The biblical worldview, a biblical worldview, also called a Christian worldview, is built upon the framework of ideas and beliefs that through which a Christian individual or group interprets the world and interacts with the world. The worldview shapes the physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual dimensions of our lives. The most important worldview element is how it answers questions about God. So some of those questions are, where did I come from? Depends on which religion you are, if you have a religion, if you think science, if you are a cell that just evolved, a monkey that evolved, or if you want to use ribs. Where am I going? What is your destiny? Where are you going? Is it fated that you're going to be what you are and that no matter what you do, it will not change? Purpose. What is your purpose? Why are you on this earth? What are you supposed to be accomplishing? What is the main purpose that you are here? Are you here to take care of animals? Are you here to, father or mother lots of children and be fruitful and multiply like Jesus asked us to be? How should I live? What are your values? Do you believe in following the rules and the law and living your life on the straight and narrow and never breaking any of the rules? Do you drive the speed limit? Do you say no to drugs? You never shoplift, you never steal. You go to work on time, you leave on time. I mean, how should you live? What do you believe? Do you think it's okay to tell a white lie but not lie? Do you think it's okay to lie? I mean, how do you want to live so that people know what kind of person you are? Another one of the questions that you can answer is, what is the truth? How do we know this? Who do you believe? One scientist says there's global warming. One scientist says there's not global warming. You can read data about there being global warming. You can read data about there not being global warming. I think it's truly what you feel your truth is that tells you which of those scientists you're going to lean towards. I want to thank Grove Christian School for the definition and the questions. Ethics. Ethics are moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. Medical ethics enter into questions like should you or should you not save a prisoner on death row's life even though they're going to die. Should you, if somebody is smoking and has lung cancer, should you give them a new lung, or do you give that to the 16-year-old that's never smoked a cigarette in their life? Those are kind of ethical questions you ask in medical. Moral components that you are doing this lesson for the right reason. In elementary school, the way I see this question is, are you teaching, okay, so I say, the lesson that you're planning, the lesson in instructional design, why are you teaching that lesson? Are you teaching that lesson because you want to teach to the test so that it looks like you're a good teacher and your students do well on the test? Or are you teaching the students so the student retains this knowledge and knows this knowledge for the rest of his life? What are your reasons for doing the activity? What are your intentions and reasons for doing the lesson? Technology can make your community better. Engaging respectfully online with people who have different beliefs. That's a good way to ethically participate with instructional design. Using technology to make your voice heard by public leaders and shaping public policy outside of school. My school I work for today does not allow us to be political in any kind of way, except for through our union, and that is something separate. And you always need to make sure ethically that whatever you use online for your lessons has is a valid source, that you make sure that you are not pushing false information out to the students that you're teaching.